5.6, Inverse Functions, page 276 to 280. Inverse functions, functions that undo each other. The inverse function is also a reflection on the line y equals x. Okay, so the first part of this is we're going to write a formula for the input of a function. So if we let f of x be 2x plus 3, and a here it says solve y equals f of x for x, all I'm going to do is basically replace f of x with y, right, equals 2x plus 3, and then I'm going to solve for x. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. I get 2x equals y minus 3. Then I divide by 2 to both sides, and I get this x equaling y minus 3 divided by 2. Okay, so I solved for x, right? Okay, the next part, it says find the input when the output is -7. Well, output is y, right? So y is -7. Input would be x. So all I'm going to basically do is take this equation right here. X equals y minus 3 divided by 2, and I'm going to replace the y with -7 minus 3 over 2. That's -10 over 2, and that is -5. So x equals -5. Or, right, the input is -5. Alright, and this is in relation to what we're going to start doing with some inverses, but this is just the first concept here. Go ahead and pause and give number 2 a try. I'm going to go ahead and show the answer here. Okay, here we go. Number 2. X equals y plus 5 divided by 3. When I input -11 for y, I get -6 divided by 3, which is -2. X equals -2. Pause if you need more time. I'm going to go on to number 3. Okay. Concept number 2 is finding the inverse of a linear function. Alright, so it says find the inverse of f of x equals 3x minus 1. So again, f of x is y, so all I'm going to do initially here is replace f of x with y. So f of x equals y. So I'm going to say y equals 3x minus 1. Then when I find the inverse, what I'm doing is I'm going to flip the x and y. So I'm going to write it as I almost messed it up. I'm going to write it as x equals 3y minus 1. I'm replacing the order of the x and y. Then what I'm going to do is go back and solve for y. So in this case I'm going to add 1. I get 3y equals x plus 1. Then I'm going to divide by 3 to both sides. And I get y equals x plus 1 over 3. And that is the inverse. Okay. Go ahead and try number 4. You're going to replace the f of x with y, flip the order of the x and y, and then solve for y. Pause now, because I'm going to go ahead and show the solution. Y equals 1/2 x minus 4. If you had y equals x minus 8 over 2, that's okay, but it could be simplified a little bit farther. Okay, I'm going to scoot it on up. It says, concept number 3, finding the inverse of a quadratic function. Okay, so find the inverse of f of x equals x squared when x is greater than 0. Okay, so we're going to start at 0. And then it says graph the function and its inverse. If the domain of f were restricted to x is greater than or equal to 0, then the inverse function would be y is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so I'm going to scoot this down a little bit here. I'm going to squeeze it in a little bit. Okay, so we have this function, f of x equals x squared. I'm going to happen to use where x is greater than or equal to 0, so I'm going to start with 0, and since it's exponential growth, I'm just going to use 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so now 0 squared is 0, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, and 4 squared is 16. Okay, so now I have my x and y's, right? So first thing I'll do is just go ahead and plot these points in graph. I do want to know on this graph here, I do want you to recognize that this is the linear line y equals x. And what we said before in that initial definition is that it will reflect over this line. So let's first graph these points. Okay, so 0, 0 right here at the origin. 1, 1, 1 to the right, up 1. 2, 4, 2 to the right, up 4. 3 to the right, up 9. 4 to the right, up 16. Right up here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and draw that. And I'm just going to label it F. My F graph. Okay. Now, if I find the inverse, right, I can say f of x equals x squared, and I could say y equals x squared. And then if I replace the orders, flip the orders, I say x equals y squared. And in order to solve for y, right, I'm going to take the square root of both sides of the equation. And now I get y is equal to the square root of x. Alright, good. So now we know, and I'm going to name it g of x, just to name it something else. Okay, so there's our inverse. So when I plot these points, when I make my table, I'm going to name it g. Okay, but look here. If I take 0 squared, I get 0. So if I take, I'm going to just kind of show you here. I'm going to go these y's. So 0, square root of 0 is 0, what I have for x. If I put 1 in there, the square root of 1 is 1. If I put 4 in the radical, the square root of 4 is 2. What do I get for x, right? If I put 9 in, the square root of 9 is 3. If I put 16 in, the square root of 16 is 4. So this actually always works, right? So whenever I put in here for my initial x, if I want the inverse, all I have to do is really flip them, right? So when I graph this, all I'm really doing is the opposite, right? Well, the first one's 0, 0, but then the second one is going to be 1, 1, so that's not changing. But the third one is 4, 2, so I go 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2. Then I go 9, 6, 7, 8, 9 right, up 3, 1, 2, 3, and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, up 4. So now, if I take those as my x values and those as my y values, I get this line. I'm going to name it g. And can you recognize that it's actually reflecting there over that line, that yellow line right there? So I don't need to go back and make another table, all right? And other than asking, maybe finding the inverse, right, which I did, I don't need to. I could just use this table to find the function and the inverse when I graph it. Okay, I would like you to try number 6. Take some time. I am going to go ahead and show the answer, so please pause it. Okay, and there is the answer to number 6. And again, I found the inverse, but I only use this table for both graphing the inverse and the actual f function, or initial function. F was the initial function, g was the inverse. Yeah, I was a little off on my yellow line there, but you can see that it's reflecting over that. Okay, go ahead and move on to the next problem here. Alright, our core concept here is the horizontal line test. And with this horizontal line test, the inverse of a function f is also the function if and only if no horizontal line intersects the graph of f more than once. Okay, so if I have a graph and the passes the horizontal line test, meaning it only touches it once, like this one, right? So it only hits that line once, is the inverse of a function. If I have a quadratic or something like this, right, the inverse is not a function because it hits that horizontal line twice. So in concept number 4, I can consider the function f of x equals the 2x cubed plus 1, determine whether the inverse of the function, the inverse of f of the function, and then find the inverse. Okay, so, but once I graph this, I can identify if it's a function or not, if it passes that horizontal line test, and then the other key would be to go back and find the inverse. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try to knock this all out in my time frame here. I'm going to use -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2 for x. If I put -2 in there, -2 cubed is -8 times 2 is -16 plus 1 is -15. If I put -1 in there, that's -1 cubed is -1 times 2 is -2 plus 1 is -1. If I put 0 in there, I get 0 plus 1 is 1. If I put 1 in there, 1 cubed is 1 times 2 is 2 plus 1 is 3. And if I put 1 in there, I'm sorry, if I put 2 in there, 2 cubed is 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. Okay, so I'm going to plot these points. -2, -15's kind of off the chart way down here. -1, -1 is right there. 0, 1 right here. 1, 3. Right up 3. And then 2, 17 is going to be way up here. And my graph looks something like this. And if I look here, it only hits that horizontal line is only going to hit it once. So yes, this inverse is a function. Because it passes, again, that horizontal line test. Second question on this one was find the inverse. Okay, so again, I'm going to replace f of x with y. Then I'm going to flip the order. So x equals 2y cubed plus 1. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. I get 2y cubed equals x minus 1. I'm going to divide by 2 to both sides. I get y cubed equals x minus 1 over 2. Then I'm going to take the cubed root of both sides. And I get y equals the cubed root x minus 1 over 2. Okay. I had to pause now because of time. I'll come back. If you could go ahead and get started on number 11, give that a try, and I'll show the answer in the next video.